Thanks for coming back to our ever busy You Can Too kitchen. Today I'm going to be making a few things. The first thing I'm going to be making is a lemon cheesecake. One of my absolute favourites. I've shown you a picture of all the ingredients. It's really easy. It's just digestive biscuits, lemons, mascarpone cheese. I do use butter in this rather than margarine because butter sets harder than margarine, and caster sugar. I've got 15 digestive biscuits here. That gives me about 8 ounces. I tend to use about half the amount of butter that I do biscuits. These biscuits here aren't the well-known brand. The difference I find is that they're not quite as salty. So because of that, I like to add a bit more salt. Right, so I'm going to break my biscuits up. It doesn't have to be particularly fine because you're going to bash them. You can do this in a food processor, but it's a lot of washing up and messing around or waiting for ages for the dishwasher, and it's just as easy to do them like this. So I've got my 15 digestive biscuits, and I'm going to put, like I say, a bit more salt in there because I prefer it a bit on the saltier side. I've put about 15 grains of the salt in there. Sealed my bag, got the air out, trusty rolling pin. Okay, so there we have it. There's a few little bits in there, but it doesn't matter because once the butter's melted and it mixes in, they'll soften down anyway. As I said, I use about half factor biscuits, so I've got 8 ounces of biscuits. The quantities will be up in the description in metric and imperial. As I say, I use about half the fat to the quantity of biscuits I've got. So I've got 8 ounces of biscuits, so I'm going to put 4 ounces of butter in. I'm just chopping it up small because it melts quicker. And there we have 4 ounces of butter. I'm just going to pop that in the microwave and melt that down, and then we'll get back to making the biscuit base. So my butter's nicely melted. I'm just going to add my bashed biscuit crumbs. Whole lot in. The easiest way I find is to stir it in with a knife. You seem to get a better mix like that. Make sure all your biscuit crumbs are completely coated. If you do find any big lumps, just squash them against the side, but most of them, as I say, the butter will. I've got my tin here. Just going to tip that in. I know it looks loose at the moment, but don't panic, it will set, it will solidify. And I'm just going to push that into the tin with my spatula and then transfer to fingers. The best tool we have. Now I like to put it a little bit up the sides, just because I like a little bit of the biscuit base coming up the side, and make sure it's nice and flat because there's nothing worse than getting a big lump of biscuit base with hardly any cheesecake topping on. Good and solid. Right, I'm going to put that in the fridge to set for about 20 minutes, half an hour, until it's nice and solid. Whilst your biscuit base is setting, I have 500 grams of mascarpone cheese here, which is basically 2 tubs. Pop that straight in the bowl. And my second tub in. You'll always get a little bit of liquid to come out, but don't worry about it. That's just because it settles in the tub. Is a milk product at the end of the day, so you will get a little bit of milk come out. As much of your mascarpone out as you can. Obviously, the more mascarpone you have out, the more filling you have. To my mascarpone, I've got 500 grams of mascarpone. I'm going to add about 100 grams of sugar. I don't personally like cheesecake overly sweet, especially a lemon cheesecake. I think it should be sharp and scrummy. To that, I'm just going to grate in the zest of 2 lemons, but I'm going to put the juice of all 4 lemons in. So just on the fine side of the grater, and just grating. Make sure you don't get any of the white pith in because that's the bitter stuff. You just want the tasty stuff. Roll in the lemons as usual, just to get as much juice out as we can. It's easier to zest them first and then juice them. Don't try and juice them and then zest them because it's incredibly fiddly. Got my sieve over my bowl because obviously I don't want loads of pips in there. Right, so I've got my sieve over my bowl so that I don't get all the pips and everything in there. I'm just going to juice all my lemons. I've got 8 halves here. And just get as much juice out as you possibly can into your bowl. Right, if you can pick your pips out, you've got quite a lot of lemon in there, and it seems a shame to waste it because, as I say, I do love it really lemony. So just pick those pips out, and you've got all that fruit in there. Just bang your sieve and pop it in, and then with a whisk, starting out gently, just work it all together. And there you can see it's starting to come together nicely. Make sure you get all the lumps out because that'll just be lumps of mascarpone, and you want the lemon flavouring and the sweetening in there. And I know it looks quite thin at the moment, but it will set once you've got it on your biscuit base. Right, so my biscuit base is set. I'm happy with that. My mascarpone mix, I'm just going round the sides with a spatula because I don't want to lose all that yummy cheesecake mix. And just pop it straight on the top. Move that over with your spatula. I have greased the side of my baking tin because it does help it come out a little bit easier. It's one of those things that the nature of the beast, it will stick to the sides a bit, but we'll loosen it with a knife before we take it out of the tin. And I've used a loose bottom tin here so that, again, it comes out a bit easier. You're not trying to cut it and get it out in a slice from a tin that doesn't have a loose bottom. Right, you can, if you want, just with a fork, go around and pretty it up. Just take another lemon and a vegetable peeler, and you only want the zest. Just about four to 6 strips of lemon. Just cut them on the, cut a slice of lemon and then cut just to the middle and twist it. So you're just opening it up like that and stand it across the top. Okay, so my cheesecake's been setting for about an hour and a half, 2 hours now. It's good and set from what I can see. I've done this with lemon today, but you can do it with anything you want. Strawberries nice, you can chop some strawberries up in it, and then you can push some strawberries through a sieve so you get the juice, but you don't want the pulp and the seeds and everything to mix into the liquid. You can do it with raspberries, you can do it with mango, whatever you fancy. It really is your choice. What I've done today is, as you know, with mascarpone, you can actually do it with other cheeses, and I will do that another day. There's a really nice one with a ginger cheese and ginger cheesecake. But as I say, you know, all these things in time. There's only one of me, unfortunately, or fortunately, some may say. Okay, so my cheesecake's nice and set. In my beaker here, I've got boiling water. I've got my knife in some boiling water. I'm just going to dry that off because I don't want it wet, but I do want it hot. And I'm just going to run around the inside of the tin. And then, as I said, I have a loose bottom tin here. I'm just going to push the bottom up. Work it up, working around the tin. Okay, easiest way to do it. Just pop it on a glass. So I just stood it on a glass and slid the ring off. Now I don't actually want that on that base, so I'm gonna just slide across that with a palette knife. A palette knife is just a round-ended flat knife, but it is quite thin, so you can slide it under things. Now Now obviously these pieces are just for decoration. Not very many people like lemon zest that much. It's just right. If you like this video for us. If you enjoy what we're doing, subscribe to our channel. If you want notifications, touch the little bell icon. I hope you have enjoyed what I've done today. I've enjoyed doing it, and I hope to have you back with us again soon to do more. Cookery, as I keep saying, is really easy. It's not rocket science. I hope you get to enjoy it as much as I do, because as I keep saying, you can too.